All information included herein is provided for general informational purposes by ATN Law Office. What is intestate succession? Preparing for your future takes thought and planning. If you don't designate who will inherit your property in a will or even a trust, the state will determine who your heirs will be. That's what intestate succession means. You didn't plan, so the state will distribute your money and property to your closest surviving relatives. What state law determines who gets to inherit? For real property such as your home, it is the state where the property is located. For anything else in your estate like money, the state where you pass away determines who inherits. Since being intestate means you didn't have a will when you passed away, you lose the power to choose who inherits your assets. Intestate succession is the worst possible scenario because you have no choice in who inherits your property. What if you wanted to leave part of your estate to your pets or a favorite charity? That won't happen in intestate succession. I've included an example of how California law may determine who your heirs are. If you die without a will or trust, your spouse gets your estate. When your spouse passes away, your children inherit. If you have no children, your estate goes to your parents, and so on down the line as defined by law. This list may change depending on who survives you, what you own, and how your property is characterized. Different rules apply for your community versus your separate property. Community property is all property bought or earned during marriage, which spouses own jointly. Separate property is everything you bought or earned before marriage, or any gifts given to you before or during your marriage. You are the sole owner of any separate property. Your spouse can get from 1/2 to 1/3 of your property, depending on who is still alive when you pass away. If you're survived only by a spouse, then he or she gets everything, your community and separate property. If you're survived by a child, parents, or siblings, then your surviving spouse may get 1/2 to 1/3 of your separate property. The proportion inherited by your spouse depends on who is surviving you. It can get complicated, and this may lead to confusion, fighting, or bad feelings in your family. We will all pass away one day, but we don't have to leave behind this kind of confusion and disorganization. Give your loved ones time to be with each other instead of figuring out what you left behind and who gets what. Avoid intestate succession. Prepare a will or trust for the sake of your beneficiaries. If you have more questions, consult an attorney. Remember, planning is the first step in preparing for your future.